Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Excuse me while I start the timer.
Better decor again, see?
Better decor again?
Oh,
yes.
As opposed to my house.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
Hello. Hello.
I am Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. This is episode 151. We are Saturday, March 19th. I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I decided to record by myself that it was going to be 150.
Yeah, that's a pretty special number.
You're just like...
Little happy dance.
So who are you?
Oh. I'm Selma123 on Ravelry and Selma Knits on Instagram.
She's addicted.
I really am. I am. It's
saw
really
that.
fun.
At one point at the retreat, she's like, "You didn't upload those pictures yet." I'm like, "I took them 5 minutes ago." Crazy.
No, I'm really enjoying the visual aspect of it a lot, and having fun seeing everybody at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So I've pretty much decided I'm going next year. Anyway, more to come on that.
And don't forget.
You didn't say welcome to new and returning viewers.
Yes,
You
I
didn't
did.
say join
Oh,
our
we're
Ravelry
just
group.
like,
Yes,
hello.
I did.
Okay,
yes, I
fine.
did.
Anyway, welcome to the craziness. And we do have a Ravelry group where you can come and talk and join our cows and our knit-alongs and crochet-alongs and the crazy.
I'm Lynn, also known as Toll Baby. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube, our blog at twotangledskeins.com, and Facebook. And I'm Toll Baby on Instagram.
We need this one to change your Ravelry name to Selma Knits. That'll be good.
Yeah, I think I will. I don't know. Selma123, as I've said before, I really, really don't like.
A lot of people, when they're naming themselves, don't realize what they're naming.
I really didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to be, my identity.
A lifestyle change.
And even though Selma Knits is not like super exciting, at least it's kind of, I don't know, a little more interesting. Hey?
Mm-hmm.
I like it more. So I might just be changing my name. But anyway, Selma Knits on Instagram. And I have a BlackBerry, and so I realize that sometimes there are certain things I can't do that other people are doing. But I'm really enjoying seeing everyone's posts and comments and stuff.
But you can post pictures now.
I can. I've posted a few.
We saw.
Yesterday I was at the museum with my kids, and I thought, are you guys okay being on Instagram? Well, my son's on Instagram, it turns out. And he is one of my followers.
Of course, he's 12.
I know. It's cute. I didn't realize it, though. I'm like, oh, are you following me? So, he was the one who showed me how to use it, so I guess, it makes sense that he's actually on there.
So what did you guys do this week?
Well, this was quite the week.
We went to the first...
Smooth segue.
Thank you.
We went to the first Twist Fiber Retreat. Twist Festival Fiber Retreat. So the people who put on the Twist Fiber Festival, which is about an hour from us.
About an hour 15 in a place called Saint-André de Avalin, right?
That's where Twist is. But
That's
we
where
were
Twist
somewhere
is.
else. We were further. And we were staying at a place called La Petite Rouge, which is on a river. And
Beautiful location.
beautiful location, huge cabins. And I was telling Sean the other night that when I was standing in front of our cabin one day, it reminded me of Dirty Dancing and the staff quarters. If you look long,
It was a lot, exactly that kind of, not quite as posh, because that was a little bit more like the staff quarters. It was sort of more kind of, little wooden shacks type of thing.
Yeah.
Really, they were great. I have to say, we both said, wow, that bed was really comfortable.
Yeah, we looked at it and went, oh, single bed, that's going to be fun. No, it was comfortable.
It was really comfortable.
Yeah.
And we did tons of different types of things. Like, in fact, that's probably, everybody was like, oh, it was exhausting because there was so much going on. I didn't even get involved in everything because I was like, I need to sit down and knit.
There was 4 classes, 2 each day, like 3-hour classes.
Yeah. And the first night, Friday night, there were these quickies.
1 hours.
Yeah,
for
1
1
hour.
hour.
Should we show what we did on one of the 1 hours?
What did you
One
do?
of the 1 hours was pom-pom making.
Oh, right.
Fur pom-pom making. She had, and some people, were kind of like, oh, do we really want to do this? Sue was expressing some concerns, but we made these fox fur pom-poms. I made 2. The other one has since become a pet for my daughter.
I have 2. The big one is for me, and the little one, my daughter actually wants a keychain.
Oh, fun.
because she knows somebody who has a keychain. So
But they were great to make. It was great to see how to do this type of pom-pom.
very, very, very sharp knives.
Yeah. And really strong thread and a special kind of needle to sew through.
Yeah, it looked like a sewing needle, but that was like shaved, pointy. It was jagged.
But that was a 1 hour little workshop. After that, we went to a 1 hour workshop on combing fibers.
Yeah.
Which was, sort of preparing the worsted preparation, it was called. That was fascinating. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we did some spindle. Oh dear.
Did you not bring yours?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So, have they made a spinner out of you?
She wants a tri-wheel. So that's it, and this is the rest of my bat.
Yeah.
That I...
Oh, I didn't bring my other bat.
Yeah, so I blended it together.
Yeah, so we did a bit of carding as well.
Yeah, drum
and
carding.
Here is my little ball.
You were getting quite consistent at the end.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's the beginning.
That's true. That is the beginning. That's true. It did get better later on. See? That's pretty decent, hey?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is for me.
I find it a lot easier with a wheel. I don't have the hand-eye coordination for a spindle.
It's like, geez, I spent so much time and this is what I have. It's got to be a
Wheels
little
are a lot
faster for
quicker.
me. I think the wheel would be much faster for me. And it looks really zen, right? I think the nice thing about this is that you can carry it anywhere, right? The preparation, though, I have to say, I thought preparing the fibers, that looks like a lot of fun. Blending the colors and all that I could get into.
Yeah, because some people were putting like Angelina and Stelina and...
Yeah, so that was our Friday night. 3 boom 1 hour sessions. Then we had to make a little banner triangle in groups, and we did
out
that.
Of whatever it is you wanted. They put them all together, and they're going to be hung at Twist Fiber Festival in August.
Yeah. And then the next 2 days, there were 4 workshops. There was a workshop on indigo dyeing, which we participated in. Mm-hmm.
Judy grows
with
her own.
Julie Asselin, actually, of Julie Asselin Yarns. She was the one giving the workshop.
Judy. I keep doing that.
Mine is like
Deb
a complete
grows
mess.
her own.
It's because you didn't skein it. So that is my merino. It's got some dark, you can see some dark stuff. That's where it hit the bottom of the pot. And I actually did a blog post that will show you when you're doing indigo dyeing, when you pull the yarn out of the water, it's green.
Yeah,
and
like a yellowy green.
Yellowy green, and then because of the oxygen hitting
oxidizes and becomes
it turns blue. And I posted pictures. They actually
it was
came out
fascinating.
okay.
I think that was the most fascinating part. I mean, obviously there was the whole science behind it that was interesting and kind of mind-boggling in a way. But watching it come out of the water, yellowy green, and in 30 seconds transform, it was fascinating. Mm-hmm. We also did some linen silk. This is sort of a linen silk in the indigo, as well as some fiber. So we had
fiber here.
Yeah.
Super pretty.
And I gave Selma the linen silk because, me and...
Yeah, so I've got 2 of them, and we'll see what they become.
But they came
at some
they
point.
became really nice blues.
Yeah, it's a very nice blue. I was expecting something a little darker.
Like not this dark.
Yeah, I was expecting something like the
really,
dark
really
in there.
dark spots.
That's what I think of when I think of indigo. But it gets darker. If you want, you can double dip. So after you've got the first dipping, after it's turned blue, you can dip it again and continue dipping until you get the darkness. It's a building up of layers.
Yeah, you have to sometimes re-add stuff to the water. But they used indigo, which was real indigo, right?
Yeah, it was real indigo. Henna, which was
henna powder,
because you have to deoxidize the water in order for the indigo to work, and you have to deoxidize it with a sugar of sorts. And apparently henna, like neutral henna,
and
will do that.
And what was the other stuff? It
and
was
then there was some other
like a baking soda sort of kind of thing
that you had to add as well to
Alum?
the water. No, it wasn't.
It
was something else. I can't remember now, that you had to add to the water where you were soaking your yarn. So it's quite a process. And Julie Asselin did a great job of giving that. Mm-hmm. So there was that one. There was a wet felting workshop that was Sunday afternoon, and I was a little brain dead at that point, and I didn't do it. Although I kind of regret not doing it, but I really
We didn't do either of the afternoon workshops, which was weaving.
And I had already
And wet
taken 2
felting.
weaving workshops with the woman from Wabi Sabi, so I felt like I just want to sit back and relax. If we had done all the workshops, there wouldn't have been a whole lot of time for knitting, and I expected to make
Because
some
who goes
progress.
to a retreat to knit?
Yeah. And then the last workshop was a magic cake workshop.
Oh, there's a story behind the magic cake. She didn't want to take the class, but she was helping winding balls and helping, and so I made my first one, which is this one. And then I thought, I picked so much yarn, I'm going to make another one. The class is done, I set them on the table, and she's like, this is exactly what she did. She's like, oh, I liked that one.
They're totally my colors.
Yeah, and I'm like, so do you want it? Really? And I was telling the ladies at dinner, and she's like, I have a look. I'm like, yes. Do you have a look that we cannot say no to Selma? Just give it to her.
I didn't really participate because I thought, I have so much yarn. Do I really need it? But it's a fantastic idea where you, and what was great was at the Curious Handmade Retreat. So if you guys watch some of the podcasters who were at that,
magic cake.
they made magic cakes as well with fingering yarn. We did it with worsted weight yarn, so you can end up with a rather large shawl, and meant to be used with like 6mm needles and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
we'll probably do that at some point. We should make you a magic cake.
So, how can you not love these colors?
Yeah.
And mine is quite flashy compared to what I normally use.
Yeah. So that was great fun, and that was given by somebody who designs and is on Ravelry too. Her name is José Labrie, and she's tricoton on Ravelry. Mm-hmm. And she gave a lovely workshop, and everybody did such a fantastic job. There were about 70 people there. It was big, I thought. I don't know if they'd want that to get any bigger because I thought that was big enough.
It was big enough for the space.
Yeah. But it was great fun. The food was fantastic. I ate tons of cake.
3-course meals 3 times a day.
It was ridiculous. I think I gained 3 or 4 pounds that weekend. Needless to say, I'm on a diet now.
But not a yarn diet.
No. So...
the yarn diet kind of went out the window, just so you know. But we'll talk about that part later.
Stash.
So that was it. It was great fun. Hey?
Mm-hmm.
It was an intense weekend.
Yeah. But, no cooking, no cleaning.
Now you know what they were up to last weekend.
Yes, when we abandoned poor Lynn.
Did I look abandoned?
No,
I
not
was
at all.
fine. I had yarn.
You look like you were in a good
Yes,
mood.
so much yarn. So, FOs. I don't have any. Lynn doesn't have any. It's
Oh,
all
really?
you. Yeah.
Nope, I got none.
I see.
I had no knitting mojo this week.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fine. It happens. So, FOs. I've got 2
It's
FOs.
the Selma Faux Show.
Oh, dear. Oh! Hello to the people from Twist, because there were
Oh,
actually
yes,
a couple
hi.
of viewers there, so that was
Yes.
cool. And one actually teased me about the fact that I've always got an FO and I finish sweaters. I wonder where she gets
Melanie.
that from.
She's like, I feel like I have to knit. And she's the lady that came up to me and she's like, oh my God, you're here. And you brought your bags. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she said every time, was it her or was it somebody
Yes.
else who said every time she heard my voice, she felt like she had to sit down and knit. That was funny.
That's beautiful.
So it was great to meet people. And it was just fun to meet there were people from all over Quebec, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent a lot of time in French, which was fun.
Yeah.
And there were some people from Ottawa. There were a couple of people from Toronto, a couple of people
Quebec
from out
City,
east.
little towns here and there.
Little
in
towns
Quebec.
I've never heard of.
We met the lady who used to own Lettuce Knits. Hi, Sylvie.
Hello. She's in Toronto. So
Yeah.
anyway, it was great fun. So the first FO, well, I guess the first FO is the one that I'm wearing. That I think I made 2 years ago. It's made out of Malabrigo Rios in the Paris Midnight colorway. And it's a cowl neck tunic. It kind of goes partway down my thighs, that I made with 3/4 length sleeves. And it's got a really, well, it's a very sort of simple raglan design. I just kind of came up with it myself on the fly. I had
As
this
one does.
I had this
As Selma
idea
does.
of what I wanted, but once you've done a raglan design, and you get the
Yeah.
concept. It's really just figuring out, okay, how many do I need for the neck? How many do I need for the arm?
And you've done enough garments that you know.
Yeah. And I basically made it so that it ended up with a scoop neck because I knew I wanted a cowl, but I didn't want the cowl up here. I wanted it down. So I sort of made a scoop neck in the front so that when I did the cowl, it would be kind of lower.
Mm-hmm.
And
it sits very nice.
yeah, it turned out really well, actually. I wish I'd had a little bit more yarn. I might have made it a little longer because it's a tunic that I wear with leggings and boots at work. And sometimes I feel it's a little on the short side. But it's still all right.
That's okay.
Showing
you
too
have a
much
nice
of those
butt.
legs.
Oh, thank you so much. But I have to say the feature that I like the most is the cowl. Because what I did, and I'm gonna...
Oh, I never even noticed that.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay, sit a little bit straight up. There you go. So, there's buttons.
There's buttons at the back so that I can button it up. And I found these lovely little antique buttons. I can button it up and it can be a little bit more of a closed cowl. But quite honestly, I always end up wearing it more open.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm really happy with it. And the Malabrigo Rios has actually worn better than the Arroyo.
Yeah.
You know, I made my On the Grass not long ago, and it's almost pilling more than this is. So I'm like, you know, there's a little bit of pilling with the Malabrigo Rios, but I would use it again. It looks pretty good, I think.
On
eh?
the Grass is what you wore on the weekend, right?
Yeah, I took it to the retreat.
Stand up and show how long it is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So there we go. Excuse me. It is, well, I'd
You
have
can't see how long. It
can't-
goes a little bit.
goes down to there.
There you go.
There you go.
I
So
think it's
like
plenty
that.
long.
Yeah. And then it goes at the back.
Yeah, there you
Like
can see
that.
a lot better
Yeah.
now. It's very nice.
There we go.
Better detail.
And of course, I
Yeah.
had to do a photo shoot at work because she didn't have good photos.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting pictures. It's a very difficult,
Blue.
dark blues are difficult to photograph because, you know.
Yep.
So,
I
anyway.
know.
Now, the other FO I have is the pair of socks that I was knitting for my daughter, and I actually finished these at the retreat.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Vona. Her socks.
There was the most adorable woman in our cabin. Like, I could have kissed her to death. She was so adorable.
Yep.
She was so adorable. And she just had us all in stitches. She had made herself a pair of socks, cuffed down, and she had just kept going on the toes until they were a
And she's
complete
like,
point.
You have no idea. So she went and got the socks, and oh,
We were all in stitches. And I kept saying, oh, we should take a picture of those socks because they were absolutely adorable. They were like complete
and
points.
she's like, and when I wear them, it hurts.
So I was like, okay, let's open up the end. And we ended
We'll
up
fix
cutting
the
it because she had
She's
cut
like,
the
just
end,
cut it, and someone's like, no.
but I ended up having to cut them, and I pulled them back, and I said, you know, now you gotta figure
Try
out
them
how to,
on.
you know, try them on, make sure that they're the right length, and then Kitchener the toe.
Oh, she was
So
adorable.
she was totally up for it because they were great socks. But anyway, and it was, she really was. It
she was
so
hilarious.
much fun. We had great cabin mates. They were great. They sat there and had wine and scotch in the evenings. And it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the socks that I made for Isla. I finished them there, toe up with an afterthought heel, and in the Julie Asselin Lezu fingering, and in the Pinata colorway. And I finished them in Isla. I brought them home from Twist. I said, try them on. And she didn't take them off until Thursday. I was like, I need to wash the socks.
That's why they're starting to wear.
Yeah, the heel and the toes are already worn. She was super
Well,
rough on them.
And kids their feet tend to move
I guess so, because I'm
in
like,
their boots.
geez, your socks look more worn than mine, and mine have been worn like 20 times. I don't know what she did to them, but she loves them. So that's all I really care about. Because do you remember the socks that I made for her? They were striped pinkies and whatever with some mock cables up the front. I made them sometime in the early fall. They ended up being too tight. Same number of stitches, but because of the cables and the ribbing, they ended up being too tight, and she doesn't wear them. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I think I'm going to find somebody else to give them to. But these ones fit perfectly. And then last night, I took a second sewing class. So I'll just show.
She's addicted.
I'm addicted. I went and
I was
bought-
explaining to her how to do zippers the best way I could without having a bag. She did a zipper last night. Now she knows.
Look, it opens and it closes. It's a little pouch. So this course was about making this pouch.
pleats.
And
Yes.
You're
Pleat.
such an overachiever.
no, but that's what the course was about.
I don't even do pleats.
Overachiever.
It's nowhere near perfect. The two sides of the zipper are not quite symmetrical. The pleats aren't quite lined up. My rounded circle, my rounded edge is not quite round. It's sort of like
So she's not completely perfect.
Nope, nowhere near it. But the whole point was that I would learn how to do zippers and pleats and rounded edges at the same time, which was great. And it's a little lined pouch, and there's sort of a minty green interior there. And so I'm really thrilled. Now I know how to do zippers. Off I go. I'm really excited.
She doesn't need me anymore.
Oh, believe me. I ended up fashioning a circular needle holder like the one you had made, but it's functional. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't call it attractive, but it's functional.
It does
Yours
what
was
it needs to
far
do.
more nicely done, but I'm like, you know what? I actually need it because I don't have interchangeable deep what do you call those? Interchangeable needles.
Yeah.
I have all
Fixed circs.
fixed circs, and so I've got a lot of them, and they were just a complete mess in the closet. So I really needed the circular holder to organize them a bit, but there are a lot of them, so they actually weigh it down a little bit.
She finished making. She was like, "That was intensive." I'm
Ah.
like, yeah, it's a lot of work. To
I
make
was
those.
exhausted after that. Well, there's a lot of mental rotation that has to happen in sewing. I find
There's
I'm
a-
like, woo,
There's
you
a
know?
reason why I cut one night, I do one part of sewing one night, and I do another part another night. Like, I don't do any of those three together because it's too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it is. And I did it all in one night, that circular needle holder, and by the end of it I was like, yeah. So, anyway. And I have to figure, I don't have a sewing room, I don't have a craft room, I have a craft closet in a corner. So I have to, do things on my dining room table, and I've still got all of that to kind of figure out.
yeah, I'm lucky I have this room, but only because
Yes.
one of the kids went downstairs, and this is the bigger of the other two rooms. And then when that one downstairs leaves, the other child's probably going to want to go downstairs, and that'll
Yeah.
become a spare bedroom. But
You're assuming either one of them will ever leave.
well, they will.
Life is good.
Shush.
I've met Sue's kids.
They're happy at home.
I will not send them out into the world until they are completely ready because I don't want them coming back.
Mm. Yeah, there's that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, those are my FOs.
Sweet.
I think that's it.
I really shouldn't be casting on a square on the podcast because it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Speaking of casting on, there are the whips.
yes.
What are you working on, Lynn?
Whips and chains.
I cast on a new project the other day,
Of course you did.
as one does. And this ties into stash as well because this is brand new to me, yarn.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah. I actually have the little doohickey in the bag.
Ball band.
Yes, that. No, I don't.
So we don't know what it is.
Lie.
Okay, maybe it's in the big bag. But
But I
anyway,
think this came from Crystal's mega bag of yarn, right?
the minis, they're scattering.
Which stay tuned to the
Yes.
end for some, just a little bit of stash
Because
enhancement.
this was one of the lovely balls of yarn that Crystal gave away. So I started a handbrake. The second I saw this ball of yarn, I was like, oh, handbrake. So I cast it on. Because there's only 2 other projects that I really wanted to have finished for this weekend and don't. But as I said, I had 0 knitting mojo this week, so.
That happens, man.
I cast on the handbrake last night? Last night, I think.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're doing well.
Yeah. That's
She's
flying.
How many
motoring.
stitches did you put in?
120.
Okay.
The small size. So. This is it is the handbrake by Dan and Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. It is their pattern that was designed to raise money for cancer research and awareness. And it is out of King Cole Moorland Aran in the foliage colorway.
And that, you said that's acrylic?
This is acrylic.
It doesn't look like acrylic
I know.
at all.
It's 100% acrylic.
It reminds me of the tweed from Sean's sweater.
Yep. It
No,
is
it's really lovely.
It's a khaki green base yarn with a thick and thin yarn that goes from beige to taupe to brown to black, twisted with it.
Well, and the taupe is almost pinky.
It's kind of a pinky taupe. It's so pretty. This yarn is amazing, and it goes from like silver, gold, taupe, brown, black, and then back again.
And you know what? I'm not a big fan of acrylic. It
It's
really
nice,
doesn't
isn't
feel
it?
like acrylic.
I
It doesn't
know.
look like acrylic. Like it's a really good imitation, I would say.
I love this yarn. And I did my ribbing at the bottom. Not ribbing. Garter edging. And I weighed the ball to find out how much was left so that I know when to stop the pattern. So I'm getting smart in my old age.
You are.
I've only done 4 of these.
That's
This
very
is number
smart.
4. And I finally figured that out.
'Cause
When
it's
to stop the patterning.
So how much did the garter ridge weigh?
The garter
Out of
ridge is
pure-
about 15 grams.
Okay. See, that's a good reference
So
for all of us.
when I have somewhere between 20 and 15 grams left, I will stop the pattern and start the garter edging for the top, and that way I won't run out of yarn. No yarn chicken.
Nice.
It's nice to win at Yarn Chicken.
But I'd rather just not play.
No.
So there we go.
You will have completely dominated the chicken.
Guess what size needle it's on? 4.5!
Sorry, I need to write that down. Even I'm laughing at that one.
Dominating the chicken. I'm just not into that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, we'll stop now.
Sorry.
Kinda
No,
sorry.
we won't.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, we won't.
Am I going to start crying?
Yes.
It was nice and quiet last weekend. So, anyway.
Ah.
I have a ways to go because I'm barely into the balls so far. There will not be any dominating of chickens yet.
Oh, dear.
So that's what I'm knitting on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think we might have to cut this out. This is oh.
And that lives in my cute little bling your string alpaca bag. I'm not dominating the alpacas either. And you thought you couldn't take me anywhere. I've also, for those of you who saw my blanket square, what was it, last weekend?
I need to buy waterproof mascara
Derailed.
one of these days.
So, for those of you who saw my blanket square, I think it was last weekend, it got frogged because I got a little bit frustrated.
Oh.
There were so many mistakes in the chart, and the pattern was so poorly explained that
Oh.
I gave up.
But it's the same person.
It was the same person that I did the other 2 squares from, but I had picked sort of the simplest squares there were.
Oh.
And as I got into the more complicated ones, I was having trouble with the explanations, and I was having trouble
But
with the
she's going to have to
charts.
fix that before she publishes it.
I
as
imagine
paid.
she probably does. It's just I was using the freebie versions, and you get what you pay for, right? So
Yeah.
I switched back to my books.
Okay, so this was a different person.
Yes, this was not the books. So I went back to these. Remember
your
these?
favorite books, yes.
Yes. So the pattern I'm using right now is out of the Great North American Afghan by XRX Publishing. It's the people who publish Knitters Magazine.
You bought the whole series, right?
I bought 3 of the 5.
Okay.
There's 2 that I don't have. At least those are the only 5 I've ever been able to find. So I went back to that, and this is the Deborah Newton square. This is pretty much what the whole square looks like. So
Pretty.
this is one of the ones that I had done for my friend Steven's blanket when he got married. So I knew that I could do this one, and I'm actually enjoying knitting these a lot more because I
They're
know
better.
there are no mistakes.
Yeah,
I've knit most of them already, and so I know I'm not going to run into any mistakes. I was just so frustrated. I was just like, I'm never doing this again. So, anyway, back to the books. the books work. I know the books work. So this is the Deborah Newton Square from the Great North American Afghan book out of Nitpicks Brava in the Marina colorway on 4.5. A 4.5 millimeter, which is US 7. Yes, now 2 of my 3 projects are on US 7. 3 of my 4, sorry, because I didn't work on the Elvin Pixie baby blanket, but it is also on a size 4.5. And that is currently living in my Route 66 bag from Sue because I needed something big enough to fit the book. So.
And your
And it's a
sunflower
great-
bag is used.
The sunflower bag actually is, yeah, that's my, it's being used today because I just needed something to put everything in. But it usually houses my blanket, my scrap blanket, which I didn't touch this week. So that's the second thing I was working on. And third thing,
Oh, wow, you're almost done.
almost, I was, 1, 2, 3, here last week.
Great colors. Perfect for this time of the year.
Tulip Festival, May's coming. So I got past the heel turn and I'm in the middle of the gusset decreases right now on the foot. So I was 1, 2, 3. I was here, so I've gotten this much done this week.
That's a lot.
I had hoped to get the whole thing done.
And you said you weren't knitting.
It's been a rough week. There's been very little knitting. There's been very little socializing. Poor Sue has been trying to get me to come out of the house for the last few days, and I've just been like, "Meh." So
All I can do is ask.
yeah, it's been a rough week. So
we've all
those-
gone through that.
That is the Rectangular Sock by T. Gale Designs, who is our friend Teresa Seasons. It is out of Juliana Fiber Lucid Dreams Self-Strapping Sock in Tulip Festival. And it's on size 2.5 millimeters, which is US 1.5.
I don't know, but I think Juliana should probably be thinking about dyeing some of that soon because the Tulip Festival is coming up. We have a Tulip Festival here in Ottawa.
She's actually been pretty busy. She's come out, you know, her Continuum
Yeah.
base with the
Yes.
right.
She's come out with 2 color ones. So she released the Watermelon and Tulips last week, which is green and pink.
Oh, I don't need to know that
And
either.
she will be releasing 2 more colorways, one this coming week and one the week after.
Nice.
So she's releasing a bunch of
I
new
still
colors.
want the one that's unnamed.
Yeah, well, you might be able to beg Crystal because she bought the other skein of it. So you may be able to trade her for something. I don't know.
Crystal, I got your number.
And that lives in my Amanda Panda bag. Stitched Together 4G is the Etsy shop, and that she is Little Panda 518 on Ravelry, and she is the Stitching You and More podcast. Amanda, you need to record.
Yes, Amanda, record.
So anyway, that's
Get
what
on
I've been
that.
working on, and that's all my whips.
What about you, lady?
I've been working a lot on my blanket. And
I so totally heard in my head, I've been working on the railroad.
yeah.
Ah.
Well, okay. So
My brain just went there.
I've got 16 across, and I thought, okay, I need to do the second
your ball escaped.
the second row. So I added this one here. So like this.
Look, we're almost yarn twins.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I can't add one to keep my lines. I can't add one here. It's not going to work. So I didn't frog it because I will.
That
Like-
was your knitting at twist.
Yeah, because if I do this, it's going to go this way.
Yeah, no, you want to
So-
start at the other end.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and
I told you that.
I asked Mandy. And
But you know
So-
what? I had to do the same kind of mental rotation with my blanket because you have to build on in a certain way.
Yep, and I'm losing stitches. Give me one quick second. And so I technically knit 5 squares this week because if you count the mistake one.
Excuse me. This is why I shouldn't drink Diet Coke on camera.
So I knit the green, this multicolor,
That's Selma's socks.
yeah, and then this green.
What is
Like I said, I'm not keeping my tags. I have no idea what they are.
I think that's
I really like that
then
one.
I knit this one, and now I'm on. I believe this is
that
Selma.
one is.
This is Selma's.
That's the not the. It's the good versus evil.
Yes,
It's
so
a
that.
great colorway. And now it's the Sherlock Holmes
Yep.
by Night Owl Fibers.
And I have no rhyme or reason. I ask people to pick a ball out of my bag. I just grab a ball and go for it. And my leftovers are now being kept for the 1.5 grams are being kept for Frankensocks.
We're gonna do Franken socks.
So this is the knitted patchwork recipe by
Martina Ellis.
Martina Ellis. I haven't said it in a while. This is on 2.25 millimeters, which is a US 1.
Yes.
Okay. And it's being housed in my Mina Makes bag. My stripes.
You love that bag.
I love this bag.
I swear, I'm always tempted to go to Value Village and buy some men's dress shirts.
I was going to do that.
You know what I was thinking? I saw somebody at Twist actually had a bag made out of kind of like woolen tweed suit fabric, and I thought, ooh, what a great way to get rid of, you go to Value Village and buy an old suit and turn it into project bags.
Even better. Sorry, I just had to brainstorm it. I don't know if it'd work. If you used a button-down shirt,
Have the buttons on it.
instead of a zipper at the top, you'd just have the button band.
That would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
The fabric would go in
I
the
don't
opposite
sew,
direction.
so I have no idea if this would work.
It's an interesting concept.
So I pulled out Sean's Boba Fett socks.
Those were being knitted on at Twist too.
This is the Boba Fett colorway by Georgina, who is You Who Knits, who used to live in Toronto. I think now she's in Ireland. And
Nice switch.
Sorry?
I'd like to live in Ireland.
She's from Ireland.
Oh,
So
jealous.
basically, I don't think you can see. My stitch marker is here. And I did that much on both socks. And it is being knit on 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. And it's just, what I'm doing is I'm switching it up. Instead of just a plain vanilla sock with rib, I'm doing 5 rows of ribbing, 5 rows of stockinette. So it'll still have the stretch that he needs. And these are on my Addie sock rockets, which I need more of. So that's in my bag from Yarntasia, which is, it's got the Irish thing going on for it. I like it. So that's number 2. What else did I say I was knitting on? My Marco Polo. Yes. Yes, people. I said...
Remember the Marco Polo?
I basically said, and don't be offended, screw camp. I'll do the points, but I'm not knitting for camp anymore. I'm done. So the Marco Polo came out. And I had gotten a good 12 rows done. 12. I was almost, yes, because I was into the brown and then I was starting the white. And I noticed there was a mistake with my make one right, make one left, a little bit lower. And I'm like, okay, I'll just tink down and do it. Well, then I realized, okay, so you see the color sequence?
You were going to destroy your color sequence.
I had brown here. I didn't have white. Had I not seen the mistake, I'm not sure I would have noticed.
Well, you would have noticed at the
way
end.
too late.
And I would have frogged it, because that's me. So this is Marco Polo, and this is by Ella Torrente. I think that's how you say it. And it is being knit on
4.5!
Yes! And it is being knit out of Cascade 220 Superwash in the Sport in brown, cream, and, well, they say burnt orange. Is that what you meant by the sleeves?
Yes.
I had no idea. I
Yeah.
just followed the pattern.
This is a contiguous construction.
So I've done contiguous. Go me.
Did you like it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
This has been in hibernation for a little while.
Yep.
But it's a contiguous construction. I don't know if you can see that. In the brown, so you start by knitting this part here, and then you start...
Going out. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. You start the sleeves. So you end up with a set-in sleeve look, but it's actually...
You knit all in one piece.
It's all... yeah.
And
seamless.
I didn't really realize I was doing that.
It's a great construction.
And this yarn is so soft.
It is. That's the
So
superwash you said, right?
Yes.
It's very soft.
Yeah. So that's going well. Well, I had to rip it back a bit, but... And so I decided to make myself happy and use one of my progress keepers because it's a donut.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's my little donut. There's no more donuts in the shop because a lady ordered the bunny stitch marker and then the cream stitch marker, and then she's like, "Oh, throw in the pink one while you're at it."
The cream donut?
Sorry, the cream donut, the progress keepers.
Okay.
So they're gone. So lucky you got your donut in time.
I got a donut too.
And
I love the donut, which I'll show you guys.
that's all I've worked on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
Well, speaking of
Sorry.
ripping back, I've been working on my Mary tunic. Well, it's the Mary sweater, but I decided that I was going to make it a sleeveless vest tunicky thing, a little bit longer than the one that I'm wearing. I want it to be a little bit longer because I would have made this one longer if I'd had more yarn. But I finished the color work at Twist. I have to say I'm really, really happy with it. I'm not fantastic at color work, but it's working out beautifully. And it fits really nicely.
She put it on because she wasn't sure if she wanted to continue. When she tried it on, it's just like, oh my god. It's
yeah, and I needed to decide if I wanted to do a little bit of short row. Sorry,
That's okay.
a little bit of short row shaping in the front, and I did. I think I would have needed to do a little bit more because it's still. What I found with some of my sweaters and vests is that there's a little bit of a puckering, ballooning thing happening at the back. But the last vest that I made, I did some short row shaping for the bust in the front, and that completely got rid of that in the back. So I thought I'll do a little bit with this.
I haven't seen it on you since you've done those. Because you tried it on just before you put those.
Yeah, and I think I would have needed to do more. I didn't do a lot of shaping. But then again, it might just be because of the color work. Once I've pressed it, it might be fine. But I had to pull back. It's this long at this point, and this morning I pulled back about 3 inches because I was already going into the shaping for the hips, but it was a little bit too long, and I felt like I was gonna have to suck in my stomach to wear it all the time, so I wanted to go out a little sooner. So I pulled it back because I tried it on about 3-4 times, and I'm like, if I'm trying it on 3-4 times, it's because I'm not convinced.
You taught me the rule. Can you live with it?
Yeah, and I kept thinking, oh yeah, I can live with it. No, let me try it again. Oh yeah, I can live with it. No, if I'm trying it on this many times, I'm having to convince myself.
You were unsure when you were trying it on.
Exactly.
And you're not normally unsure about your patterns.
No, so I pulled it back, and I've added a little pearly thing happening here every once in a while. I don't know if you can see
There's
that.
a bit of patterning. It's
There's
very
a little bit
It's
of
very
texture.
subtle, just to add a little bit of texture to it, but it fits wonderfully. I was making the largest size, but I needed more stitches because it's meant to be made in a bulky weight yarn. So I experimented, and I thought, okay.
But tell them what else you're doing, because you're not knitting according to the pattern at all.
Well, I am.
No, not really.
I'm just knitting it backwards because it's a bottom up. It's a bottom up pattern, and so I'm knitting it
down, bigger sized. Sweater whisperer.
So
you make it work.
Yep.
When I had increased the number of stitches that I needed for the largest pattern, the largest size, I still needed more stitches for it to fit me in a smaller gauge. And I thought, okay, I need about 20 more stitches. Let me just do one more row of increases and we'll see what happens. And it worked out perfectly. And so anyway, I love the fit. I love this color work. It's actually extremely simple.
It just looks
It's always
stunning.
multiples of 3. I won't say more because it's a paid for pattern, but it's real. Actually, I think there's a hat of hers that has one of these sort of laurel leaf type things that's free. But anyway, it's really beautiful. I'm like, oh, I want some in other colors because I just love it.
You've got enough sweater quantities to do it.
I do, or I might do some hats or something like that. But I'm really glad with it. Very happy. And that is being knit out of hemp wool by Hemp for Knitting. I'm actually right now, well, there's the ball. I had to pull back so it's all rolled up. But, and so far I've only used 2 balls. This is the second ball. It goes far.
Yeah.
And this is the 3rd ball. I've got 5 balls. I don't think I'm going to use them all. I thought I
She's
would.
not going to use all her balls.
Not going to use all my balls.
Matching fingerless mitts.
Yeah. But I'll definitely have at least 1 skein, if not a skein and a half left or something like that. And it's being housed
Isn't
in a
it great
bag.
when you don't have to consider the sleeves?
Yeah, and then I thought, well, I'll have enough yarn. Do I want to make sleeves? But I really want it as a vest. I tried it on with a blouse underneath, and I just really like that look somehow. So, and it's in my wonderful bag that Sue made me out of some Marimekko fabric that I had. So I've been really mono knitting. I did start a pair of socks at Twist. Where have they gone?
What bag were they in?
They were in the bird bag.
Yeah, there
bird
it
bag's
is.
down there.
Sorry. Pile of stuff right here. So I decided, I've been wanting to make the monkey socks by Cookie A for such a long time. And I decided, oh, have you got the pattern there?
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the book, what's it called?
No, you can't see
Sock Wool Love, is it called?
Love Sock Wool.
Love Sock Wool, thank you. By Cookie A out of the library, I don't know, 3 times. And it's not that I want to buy the book, but I really wanted this pattern. So I
printed it off Nitty.
Yeah, they have it on Nitty as well.
Which I don't understand. It's on Nitty for free,
but it's in a book that you have to buy.
Yeah.
So here it is. And I'm doing this upside down too because it's actually a cuff down pattern. So it looks a little different because normally it would look like that on the sock, right? Mm-hmm. But it looks like that. But I'm okay with that. And this is one of Sue's donut progress keepers that she was talking about, and I just love it. So I haven't knit on this at all this week. This is what I did at Twist. And
actually, you start that in the car on the way there, didn't you? Or was it on the way back?
I did.
You did the toe.
Did I do the toe on the way there, and then yes. I did a little bit of the lace on the way back. Yeah. So, but I really want to finish my sweater for camp because it's going to give Team Owl lots of points. And it's being this pair of socks, so I'll finish these after the tunic's finished, and it should be finished.
That's pretty.
This is Crazy Dog Yarns, who is Janet. She's an Ottawa dyer.
We need to link her in there.
Yes, we do. And this is her Grey Poupon colorway. It's a great yellow. There's a little bit of
awesome.
Yeah, there's a little bit of caramel going through it, but so far it's a great base.
I just had a Wayne's World moment.
Yep.
And I just thought, yeah, these are going to be my yellow monkeys, you know. So anyway, 2.25s. Chow goose. I very much like my chow goose.
Nope. I'm on the nope train with those.
I love them.
I love them too.
Yeah. And that's all I'm working on. And these are, it's, you know, kind of semi-hibernation. Started them, but now finishing the tunic.
Sweet.
I think that's it for the works in progress, ladies.
Oh, we're all done.
Oh my lord, now we get into stash. Oh wait.
Oh, boy.
Wait. Wait. Sorry. I noticed there was something else there.
Oh, we have a giveaway.
We do.
Yes, we do.
We're doing a giveaway, and I will let you do this.
Kristen of Woolenvine. And who is Woolenvine on
of Yarngasm.
Of the Yarngasm podcast, yes.
You did the mistake I did a couple weeks ago.
No, she is Woolenvine.
Woolenvine Yarns.
Well, she's Woolenvine Yarns. She's Woolenvine
right.
on
Woolenvine
Ravelry,
on
and she has
Ravelry.
the Yarngasm podcast. She designed a shawl called Wildesmeer, which I tested. You saw it a month ago or so.
So pretty.
There's the shawl. It's just beautiful. I love it, and I've been considering I've been considering making another one. Anyway, she has kindly offered a giveaway on the podcast, so you could win the pattern for this shawl.
Yep. Do you want to read the prompt?
And there's a prompt. What about lace patterns do you like or dislike? Does it scare you? Do you absolutely love it? So that's your question. If you can come into the Ravelry group to answer,
It scares the crap out of me.
We'll have a thread for the giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
And the draw will be done next week on March 26th. These ladies will be doing it because I won't be here. That's Easter weekend and we've got plans. But here it is. It's a great pattern.
Well, I might be solo if you're not here.
We'll see what happens.
We're not sure. Anyway,
I'm not sure what's going to happen next week. But anyway, that's a giveaway. Thank you so much, Kristen, for offering that up. And
she's so sweet.
She's an absolute darling. Love her.
Because I sent her a message. I'm like, I don't know if you remember me. I saw you at Rhinebeck. She was like, oh, yes, of course I remember you. I'm just like, oh, my God. Fangirl.
Yes, we did meet her at Rhinebeck.
Sue tends to get a little starstruck.
Well, I was telling Sean about the lady who came up and said, oh my God, you're here, you have your bags, and he was like, oh, kind of like what you did to that girl at Stitches. Sorry, Laura. But she remembers me.
I don't think she could forget you at this point.
So anyway, that's our giveaway.
Yeah.
And then there's Cal's.
A cow.
Well, there's the sock cal. So
Yes,
we are
right.
reaching the end of the first quarter, people. It's at the end of March. So there'll be a draw sometime in April.
We will only do the draw if you're here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because you've been spearheading this, so you get to...
We'll wait for you.
So, and it was the fiber nymph, sort of
Yes.
the green striping
yarn.
sock yarn.
And there's a picture of it in the thread.
There's a picture of it in the thread. So that'll be the prize that'll be going out
What
to
happened
you.
with the lady? She lost her socks?
Oh, yeah. Was it Gojo?
Oh, Gojo! She's in
She's in Ireland.
Ireland.
And she's at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
She's been on the
She lost her socks at the festival.
She did. So hopefully you'll find them. Fingers crossed. I would assume that it's early
She
evening
was
there.
on one of our earlier VKNs,
Yeah.
but time change or something.
Anyway,
I hope you find your socks, because
so does everybody have until the last day of
Yep.
March to
Midnight.
post? Midnight, last day of March.
Or wait, March is on the 31st, which is a Thursday. Do you
Should
want
we
to
get to February 1st? I mean, April 1st?
Do you want to
Well, we'll give you until the Friday night at midnight to post them.
There you go. Friday
good.
night, midnight.
Executive decision.
Thank you. We need somebody who can make decisions around here. So you have until Friday night, April 1st, midnight, to post your socks from the first 3 months of the year, and then we'll draw the next time that I'm on for the prize. So exciting! It's so fun to see everyone's socks.
The
You
prize is
enable me.
over there, but it's a lovely
Yeah.
skein of fiber nymph
Yeah.
dye works.
And I think you had
sock
said you
yarn.
put in some
there's
stitch
a
markers.
picture. Yeah, I'm gonna put in some stitch markers, and I'm gonna make that winner's choice.
Excellent. So super fun. And then we've got the Canada Cal, which will be coming up starting July 1st.
Yep.
And we'll continue talking about that, but essentially that will be a Cal where you post as many projects as you like of finished objects, of items that you've made that have either been using Canadian yarn or from a Canadian designer or a very Canadian theme like a beaver or
The maple
shawl.
leaf shawl, which is designed by
For
an
example.
American.
Yeah, well they've got maple trees there too.
Yes, I know, but I
Oh.
thought that it was so funny that everybody's knitting this as a typical Canadian symbol, but it's an American
Yeah.
designer.
Or even
She-
if your yarn isn't Canadian, but it's named after a Canadian
Yep.
city or area.
Yeah, like
Relax.
Knitpicks has their Hawthorne. There's a Vancouver colorway.
Who has a Gatineau colorway? Is that Riverside?
Riverside,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Who's
So
also
anyway,
Canadian
who's
dyer.
also Canadian from this area,
Yeah.
in fact. So that's the idea. There'll be no sign-ups necessary. You can post as many projects as you like, but the project should be a minimum of 25 grams. So it shouldn't be just a blanket square. It should be, a little toy at the
Yeah.
very least, or fingerless gloves, or socks, or garments. And I just realized actually that my socks are being made out of a Canadian yarn. This is a Canadian yarn as well, the hemp for knitting. Yeah, something else I was working on. So
Just being a Canadian knitter, not quite enough.
no,
Sarah.
you can't just be Canadian.
Or the Canadian knitter, Sarah.
Yeah, you can't be your Ravelry name either.
No.
Speaking of the
So-
Canadian knitter,
Uh-oh.
that's another aspect to this Cal. We're including
yes.
other Canadian podcasters, and we're going to list those who are going to host their own Canada Cals, so you can participate in theirs as well
double,
if you like.
triple, quadruple.
So
And we'll mention
in
those
the,
later on.
In the Cal information thread, there's a list of podcasters. There's a list of
No.
dyer. No, not
No
yet.
podcasters.
I'm
yet.
sorry. This
I
was just
sent
in
out
the-
email PMs to a whole bunch of podcasters,
Yes.
and we're only going to put the names in of those who want to
Yeah,
participate.
because
Yes.
people have their own plans, so they might not want to, but it's a great way to promote Canadian designers, dyers, and build the Canadian podcast community
there's
as well.
a list of designers, and there's a list of dyers. Some dyers are designers, so they're in there twice. But if there's some that I've missed, like Crazy Dog Yarns, I missed, I'll add that. But just it's a chatter thread, so just
For
talk.
now. Well, we'll have the FO thread after
Later.
July because,
Yeah, because it doesn't start for another 3 months.
Yeah, so
So-
we're just excited about it. I just thought, hey, let's get it out there sooner rather than later.
And so far, other podcasters seem to think it's a really awesome idea.
And
So,
we've-
and all our
we've
prizes
already
will be
got
Canadian.
prize donations from some of those podcasters who are dyers or designers.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Anyway, so that's upcoming. Not
Yes.
yet. Right now we've got the sock cow.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Cool.
Now we have stash. And boy, do we have stash.
Well,
okay,
I
so
have
that
a
yarn
lot.
diet, you know that yarn diet?
I'm going to show my stash that I got the people selling at the Twist
I was going to say, you
Festival.
guys should start with your twist stuff, and then we'll get into crystal stuff.
So, Sylvie, who was the owner of Lettuce Knits in Toronto, had some yarn for sale. This was all from her stash, apparently. And I saw... Oh, you can't see it with the light. NBK,
Ontario.
which is Northbound Knitting, which is Lisa Much.
That's right.
And this is a Super Wash Merino DK, and it is the Ink Blot colorway.
Lisa Much has yarn.
NBK,
Yeah,
Northbound Knitting. That's her.
yarn. And she has a sock club as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're all mostly
And
gray. She's
then
really into gray.
Things I did not need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this from Julie Asselin because she had some of her Lezu fingering on discount, and I got the birch colorway. Isn't that gorgeous?
It's a beautiful gray.
Yeah. The light's washing it out a bit.
It would make a wonderful shawl or sock.
And then I was looking
it doesn't
at
stop
no.
there.
I was looking at this that's on Sylvie's table, and I was hemming and hawing, and this is NBK as well, and it is the BFL silk lace in the trench colorway. It's like grays and stuff, and I wasn't sure, and then she was showing me this. 100% silk, 1,000 or so yards, and I was, so I was at the Julie Asselin booth, and she's like, well, I'll give you both for what X amount of dollars, and I'm like, sold. So then she took this apart and said, you're going to need to have a winding party. And she wasn't kidding. You know that picture we took with me, you, and Carrie?
In the sweater that was too big?
This?
Like it just goes on and on.
I'm probably going to have to wrap it around my kitchen chairs.
That's a crazy skein.
Yep.
Of silk.
It is. Do you want to show your twist stuff? We can kind of go back and forth.
I did very well. Because
Pink yarn's my fault.
I had bought one skein of yarn earlier in March, and so I was sort of within my diet, but somebody else had given me a skein, and I was like, okay, all right, that's only two. Julie Asselin had her booth there. As you guys know, I very much like her sock yarn. Mm-hmm. And I was eyeing and eyeing and eyeing this. I think I went back to the booth 3 times. I bought a skein of yarn for a friend's birthday.
Then she went back and showed me this, and
And then
should
I
I
was
buy
like-
it? I'm like,
I'm
of course.
do you think
should
I should
buy
buy
two?
this? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh, that's all I needed.
Then she's like, should I buy 2? And I'm like, well.
So this is out of her MCN base. It's called Nanos. And it's an edition, a limited edition colorway. So it doesn't have a name, but it's a beautiful sort of coral pink. And I just want to make a little shawlette to be worn, kind of like the one that I made out of Rachel's pattern. So I got that for myself at her booth, and she very kindly donated a skein that'll be also for our cow, which I'll just show you quickly. That'll be a giveaway for the cow out of her merino silk cashmere base.
Gorgeous,
in
isn't
this absolutely stunning. It's coming up blue, but it's kind of like a
It's
gray.
It's a stormy gray blue.
stormy gray blue. It's just beautiful. So we're going to keep that with
It's actually my favorite color.
with a measuring tape and some tea and her brownie recipe.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to keep that as a prize for the Canada Cow.
Very
I'll
nice.
let you put that in your... And then
What's that colorway name? Because that may have to...
it's also a limited edition.
Boo.
It's really beautiful though. I love that color too. It's very much like the shawl that I made, the Wildesmeer. It's a similar kind of color. And it's really funny because Sylvie, the woman who was destashing there, she had this piece fleece on her table. It's called, the colorway is Lena's Meadow. And just about a week or two before going to Twist, I was looking at the Peace Fleece website because I was quite intrigued. Their yarn is wool and mohair. And of course, it's got mohair in it, right? So I love it. And I decided not to get any, but she had 3 skeins, but this was the one that I just loved the colorway. So
See, and I tried to give her mohair yarn a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, no, I'm on a yarn diet.
I know.
It'll go to her house eventually.
But I really, I wanted to try Peacefully Sew, and I loved this colorway. And it goes very well with my pom-pom.
It's been in my stash for 8 years. It can wait a little longer before it goes to live with you.
And during the Magic Cake class, she did a draw for some mini skeins, and I won them. There is Couleur Mouton, Manos, Turtle Pearl,
And I've never heard
Riverside
of
Studios, Biscuit. Yeah, there's a lot.
I've never heard of Couleur Mouton. Have you?
Me neither. Nope.
So we need to find out who this person is, because that might be another Canadian dyer.
And the other thing was they were doing draws at lunchtime on the last day, and I may have won a cone of merino.
So I don't know if you just noticed, she just won 2 things at that festival.
Yeah, so this is basically 7 skeins of 100 grams.
And
it was on a
really
cone,
nice.
and so I wound it up, and
So we're going to be dyeing?
yes.
I did buy a dyeing
Shall I
kit.
bring my Jacquard dyes?
And I bought a dyeing kit, which I didn't bring, but what are they called? Greener Shades. With
they're fun.
with their book of how to make all kinds of different colors. So I'm going to be getting into dyeing.
Well, you know how to dye.
I know how to dye, but
More intense.
a little bit more
Sorry.
experimental. Then we got bags of minis. This is from Jessica of Sarah Nova. Thank you so much, Jessica.
What did I do with my bag?
This is
Sarah?
from Lynn and Crystal. We got bags of
My
minis.
bags from Jessica. My bag
Bags of
from Jessica is
minis.
right here. Thank
Yeah.
you very, very, very much.
My bag from Jessica is in the box that it came in, because there's mine as well. I got a bag in the mail that I ordered. I don't think I showed this last week.
I don't think so.
And, you know, I'm a Marilyn Monroe lover. So this was Addicted to Sock Knitting was having a limited edition. Suckered me in.
Oh, please. You suckered yourself in.
It was Instagram.
The second you saw Marilyn Monroe, she had you.
Yeah, the dollar's not very good, so we'll just say it's, you know.
It's a very dear bag.
It was a splurge.
Yes.
A very
yes, it
dear
was.
bag in many ways.
I'm overheating. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then a friend of mine on Ravelry, Dana, went a little nuts and sent me a package. The package of packages.
She was expecting 3 skeins of yarn.
When I had shown you guys the 2 Wool Barn, I bought a cream
That
and
is
a light
gorgeous
pink.
fabric. I love that. That
And
is
she
so
made
nice.
this bag.
Gorgeous
Oh,
fabric.
the other bag is this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
So when I had shown you guys the Wool Barn, Dana said, I've got some Wool Barn that I don't want. Do you want it or do you want to do a swap? And I said, sure, we'll do a swap. Well, first, she made this bag in Scandinavian fabric, knowing that I was Scandinavian. It's got a beautiful little tag. Here's it.
Oh, that's
Life
cute.
is a gift.
She has the tabs on the end.
She
That's
has
fun.
the tabs. So Dana, I got to figure out how to do these
Oh, I
tabs
can
on the
show
inner
you.
zipper. Oh, you do?
Yes. I know
Okay,
how to do
good. I
them.
want to know. I like that look. So then she sent me
It looks very finished.
Yeah, it's polished, right?
the 3 skeins of Wool Barn.
Nice.
I'm just like, yoink.
Pass it up.
Come and get it.
One of these is going to become a prize.
Fine.
One
I
of
think I
the-
have enough yarn.
One of these is going to become a prize
But you can't.
because I just feel like this is too much. But I cannot, for the life of me, decide which one of these I
Yeah.
like the least.
Those two go really well together.
Is that better?
All stunning.
Yeah, I
this
think
one is
We're
like
trying the camera further away. I think we need to put it back closer.
this one is a white that's got speckles of red and dark blue, and it's called Strawberries and Cream.
Nice.
This one is sort of a dustier pink that I just think would make beautiful socks.
Oh yeah.
And it's called Cupid.
And that is her smooth sock base.
They're all on the smooth sock base, and this is Peppermint Bark.
And where is Wool Barn?
She's in England.
Okay.
Maya of Wool Barn.
So pretty.
And
So
soft.
one of these, I cannot decide now, but one day there will be a decision made, and I think that for the next quarter of the sock club, one of these will be the prize.
So are you?
And it
gonna
might
say,
just be your
pick
choice,
Your own?
'cause unless I can decide by then, it might
Most
be
likely not.
the winner's choice. But she didn't only send that.
No. Of course not. Knitters.
She sent some locally dyed yarn. She lives in southern Germany, and this is
Wow.
something. Kauninchen Sockenwolle. Something like that. Sorry for completely destroying the German language, but...
Wow.
And then this opal, apparently, this opal, it says... Schafpate number 7, die Wokel der Heide. But the idea behind this opal is that the sheep all come from Germany. This is like...
That's
And
gorgeous.
so Dana sent it and said... Or Dana, sorry. Sent it and said, it could be that the sheep that she sees are actually... Their fleece is in here. And now it smells a bit like the tea, but I could even smell the sheep. I was practically in Germany when I smelled this. So...
That is so
5
pretty.
skeins of yarn. Dana. Another little
that's
project
so
bag.
cute. It matches the bottom.
It's got a little
Cookies.
owl. I know.
Candies. Teas galore. And there's one tea that's hilarious. It's a maple tea from Germany. I can't wait to try it. I can't find it. Anyway, and then this little adorable... Oh, here are the needles.
Thanks.
Thank you. This hilarious...
Mustache. It's cute.
It says, J'ai mal à la moustache. And this was for plasters, for what do you call them? Band-aids.
Band-Aids.
But inside it, there are stitch markers that she made. Beautiful birds.
Oh, I've seen these. These are really cute. They're little silhouettes.
Yeah, and another, you're not going to be able to see them, but next time we'll put the camera a little closer. And two progress keepers. One is a fish and one is a tree. And they're just beautiful. I was totally speechless, I have to say. And I think I was like, oh my gosh, quite overwhelmed. There's one box of caramels that
Oh.
might be missing a few inside.
I might
Want
have
one?
more of those
No, thank you.
around.
These
I
are
like
so
the
good.
inside fabric too.
And yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful, Dana.
Because knitters, right? We, you know.
I have to say, I just find people's generosity just overwhelming and incredible. The Ravelry world brings out the best.
Yeah. I received my Knitting Expat yarn swap.
I did too, but we're going to show them next time
Yeah,
because
if you
we've
want to
just
see what I
so
got,
much stuff.
go to Crafty Knitter 7 on Instagram. I've put everything there.
So my yarn calculating diet thing,
Out the window.
completely gone. Oh,
Tomorrow
well.
is a new day.
Tomorrow, next month is another month.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So our friend Crystal, I went to Crystal's house last Wednesday, as you guys know, because I showed you some of the minis last week, the big box of minis that I made. So I kept 3 skeins of Crystal's yarn. I kept this lovely King Cole that I showed you a few minutes ago.
Reminds me of
I kept a skein of Malabrigo Rasta.
That's a part of the scheme.
This is just a scrap. There's a whole skein with a little scrap. I just didn't want to pack the whole big ball because little scrap, portable. It's so soft and squishy. This is in the Solace colorway. And I kept, much to Sue's dismay,
I do have some knit. What is that called?
Springtime.
Okay, I have one. It's called Canopy. It's similar. So
Much
I'm
to
okay.
Sue's dismay, I kept this lovely Knit Pick Stroll in the Springtime tonal colorway because
I
it
have
was
something
so
very similar to that.
pretty. And that's all I kept.
And then she pulled this out for me before anybody got to. It's called Kindling Tonal.
It's a beautiful brown. Really rich brown.
I was really tempted to keep both of them, but how much sock yarn do I really
And
need?
I kind of, I'm a wool pig. Can I say? Because there was
That would be a great Ravelry name.
wool pig. There's wool
It's
pierogi.
taken.
Oh, I would imagine.
So there's this string theory in these blues and greens. It kind of looks like
Browns.
and browns. It kind of looks like the Georgia O'Keeffe.
You should sit
Kinda.
next to your George O'Keeffe because if it does work, you could do a hat
I could
of
do my
that.
hat of that. Yep.
And
So-
Crystal had already separated it into two 50-gram
Two
cakes.
balls. And then there was this, and I'm like, I recognize this. I don't know why. It's a little mitten kit.
That we had bought it. Well, Crystal had bought at Rhinebeck. I
You
can't
bought
remember.
it for her.
I don't remember if I bought
Oh,
it
no,
for
you
her
bought-
or if she bought it and
you
I
bought
bought
Carrie
something
one.
for Carrie.
You bought one for Carrie.
But we had bought that at the Serena of Sock booth. It was her last Rhinebeck before she passed away.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
there's more.
That was
And
meaningful.
then there's this. Julie Robinson, which is Justifiably Julia. This is cashmere.
It's a beautiful color.
And I figured it could go well with my stuff from Bijou Basin. Oh, I'm not done.
No, she's not done.
Crystal, thank you.
See, Elizabeth, this is why I let you at the bag first.
There's this, which
That
is Blue-Faced Leicester British wool, and it's Blue-Faced Leicester and Dorset.
Dorset pole, and it's really beautiful, I have to say.
Like a creamy, like...
Slight variegation to it.
Yep.
It's a really lovely quality wool.
And then there was these that I just went, oh! Shawl. No idea what they are.
You can probably ask Crystal. She's
I could
been
probably look in
identifying
her-
stuff for me for weeks.
Yeah, so there's that.
Oh, and I knew I'd forget something. These are my minis from Crystal. Because there were a bunch of partial skeins of sock yarn, so I made minis out of them.
And then there were 4 skeins of Cascade 220 Heathers, and I have another color that would go really well with this. And I'm thinking color works better.
Or striped sweater.
Or striped sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And
That one?
there's some Jinx yarn in the bag, and I'm like, do I want the Jinx or do I want this? This kind of speaks to me. It is the Candyland colorway by 3 Irish
It's
Girls.
really beautiful.
It's a Dorn sock, and you know, it'll go with my collection of
3 Irish Girls.
The reason I have so much 3 Irish Girls is because of Crystal. She
And
kept
me.
sending me the updates.
And me.
And you.
Because you have all of mine.
Yes. So, very pretty. Let me see if I can get the Jinx one and show you. Just show you guys.
Because the big bag is still sitting here.
Oh, did you take the Jinx one? Yes. I thought you did.
Just a minute, I have to...
Anyways, I think that's it. And then there were the minis from her.
I did take the Jinx.
There it is. So, I was torn. But I think this
Jinx.
is more my color.
Which has sort of a lavender and a beige and a kind of a slight olive taupey color in there.
And see, it's kind of funny because this one she called...
Velveteen.
Yeah, and to me it looks like Neapolitan ice cream.
No.
It
Brown,
does.
pink, and...
And what? And off-white.
This
True.
is a DK weight,
Yeah.
which is interesting. It'll make a fun striped hat. or
So,
something
you
like
know...
And there was a sock yarn, like a fingering weight of the same one, and we made that one into minis.
My minis are here somewhere, I just don't know where. There's too much stuff. This is my Rhinebeck bag. It's full. Just saying. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
And there's still lots more for the girls
Thank
at
you,
Knit
Dana.
Night. There's
Yeah,
lots
the
more
bag
for
is
you guys
still
to
there.
pick through.
Yep.
So many beautiful things.
And anything that doesn't get taken will go to my mom's church knitting group because
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not keeping all of it. I'm not.
Yep. I think we got through everything.
Oh
think
my
that's all the
goodness.
stash.
Oh
It
my
is.
goodness. Isn't that enough?
That's all you grabbed from Crystal's bag? Was that
I
Jinx?
don't, I feel,
What self-restraint?
and,
goodness.
you know,
There's a reason I ended up with more, because I just kept...
yeah.
Yeah, Selma was looking at that 3 Irish Girls and Sue went, yoink.
No, it was in my
Yeah,
hand first.
really,
It
really.
was in my hand first.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot your bullet journal.
Oh, my bullet journal, which is in my purse.
Oh, okay.
Which I was going to buy. It's from the States. And it's actually the guy who created the bullet journaling actually had one of the Leichtrim notebooks, and he got it embossed. It says bullet journal. And I wanted one. $20. I thought $20 converted into Canadian. Oh, it's okay. $40 shipping. Blew my mind. And I was talking to Jessica, who is Sarah Nova. And I was like, what the? And she's like, it doesn't cost that much to ship it to you.
No
She's
way.
like, I'm just going to send you one. And I'm like, no, don't just send me one. Would you like me to make you a bag? And she was like, oh, bag. So she is getting a gigantic sweater bag out of the fox fabric that Lynn bought.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good score, Jessica.
I like being able to have trade. And then I posted some Harry Potter themed stitch markers in my shop, and she was like, oh! I'm like, I'll just throw those in. Because, I'm overwhelmed.
You have some podcasts to talk about.
Yes, you did. Go ahead. We have time.
Oh,
Look at the time.
We have
Just
time.
a little shout out to
We have time.
we know about Skein Yarns, but she's also got a podcast, and I just love listening to her speak. And you know what? I have to admit, primarily it's because of her accent.
She's sending us some yarn. Yes. Just saying.
Just saying. But it's a nice, quiet podcast. She's always making beautiful things. I love seeing her colorways in action.
I get the emails, and I'm just like,
Oh, her colorways are so stunning.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, I'm on a sweater quantity diet until I get to 20 sweaters.
So are you going to buy the strawberry from No Makers or some skein?
I don't know, but I'm certainly considering a sweater quantity of Skein when I get there. That's for sure. I think I'm going to make a list and then choose from that list. I'm not just going to buy any yarn for my sweater quantity.
Oh, you don't have your other notebook here.
But also she, because she lives in Australia, there are often these exotic sounding birds in the background.
Yeah.
So you've got the Australian accent and the exotic birds in the background.
And her studio is gorgeous.
And it's just, her place is beautiful. I really enjoy her podcast
That's her
a
studio
lot.
that she records in.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty
not
sure.
her home?
Well, I think it's her home, but it's in her home. That's where she died. I think that's where she dyes her yarn.
No, I think she has a separate studio.
Oh, does she? Oh.
Kristen, tell us.
Tell us.
Also discovered the knitting broomstick with Vegan Jilly, who's Jilly. That's a lot of fun.
She's on my list to watch. There
Yeah.
are so many podcasts.
And then I just started watching Socksetera with Shannon. So that was
I
fun
like
too.
Shannon.
Yeah, great fun. And
She's Canadian.
yes. So there you go. Those are the podcasts I wanted to mention.
Cool.
Yeah. Skein is not new to me. I just really she hadn't actually posted anything for quite a while, and then she had 2 in a row, so I've been enjoying that.
I got some a skein of skein. I was doing a swap, and the person I got was from Australia, and she's like, "Is there anything here you would want?" I'm like, "Well, if I'm asking for the stars, I would love a skein of skein yarn." Not thinking she would send me one, and she did.
Yeah, and I bought that wood smoke in the top draw sock, and it's just stunning. And I hope to knit my husband a pair of socks out of that fairly soon.
Nice.
Yeah, because I want to experience it. But she's just got the most beautiful colorways. Anyway, we could talk about you all day.
Yes. So the last section
Is Save Your Pennies.
we have Morgan of One Hook Double Stitch on Etsy, who gave us a coupon code for 10% off until the end of March, which is winter 2016.
Hey, Mom, did you notice I did the coupon codes last week?
I know.
How organized was I?
I was so proud of you.
You want to do the next one.
Yes! It's mine! Hi, Ermins! Sue's shop, the Tangled Skeins CA, has a code for my cabin at the winter camp for 15% off until the end of March, which is coming up really quickly. Ew. Our code is ERMINE15, ERMINE15.
Basically, all the cabins have a coupon code.
Yes. They're just all individual.
Yep.
Darlene of Bags by Awesome Granny on Etsy. She has an ongoing coupon with us for 10% off. It's all capital letters 2TS10.
And last is Lisa from 6 Munchkin Stitching. She has an ongoing coupon code for 10% off, and it's the word spelled out 2tangled10.
I even pronounced that properly last
I
week.
know.
Speaking of ermines, though, you didn't
Yes.
see the picture I sent.
No, I
March.
didn't.
I was at the Museum of Nature here in Ottawa yesterday with my kids because it's March break, and so I took the day off and we went to the museum together. And they have, in their mammals section, they have everything from wolverines, all these like sort of smaller mammals. Ermines.
They're smaller
Teeny.
than ferrets. They're tiny.
They're tiny. There's one other one that's smaller than them, and now I don't remember what it was.
Mink?
No, mink is
No,
slightly
okay.
bigger than ermines.
And then ferrets are bigger.
Mm-hmm. But they're only about this big, skinny little things. Teeny weeny ermines.
And where do they live?
And the foxes. and the owls.
Mm-hmm. Where do they live? Like, where do they come from?
I think they were all over. I you know what? I didn't pay attention.
I never heard of an ermine until Lynn called her cabin ermine.
They're a light brown color.
They're called stoats the rest of the year. Yes. They only call ermines when they're white.
Okay.
They're called stoats the rest of the time, so they're all over Europe.
Because all of our mascots are white because winter camp.
But these ones were brown that they had, but they still called them ermines. They had fishers as well, which is the fishers are a horrible animal. They'll kill cats and small dogs, and they're not bigger. They're about this size. They're about the size of a cat, but they are vicious hunters, and they're
like honey badgers. They don't.
They don't give a bleep.
Yeah, apparently they'll even kill porcupines, which are about this big. So anyway, that was fun, but I was impressed by how small the ermines were.
They're adorable,
cute little guys.
That's why I picked them.
Little bigger than your rat.
Well, skinny.
Yeah.
With my little boys. Stop
there. I get the feeling there's going to be a whole new... I already have a couple of friends who use the hashtag rats of Instagram.
Oh dear.
You need to look at it.
They have pet rats.
Yeah.
I was saying to my husband when Selma arrived, from the woman who a few months ago went, ew, rats!
Totally.
She's in love with them.
I'm totally in love with them.
This is why when you say, I will never do this, we're like, yep. Spinner.
She's doing it.
Yeah. No, the spinning...
After the spindle class, she was like, I'd like to try the wheel.
Wait till you've tried the wheel.
The wheel, yeah.
It's much more relaxing and...
Spindling didn't do it for me. It was... Yeah. No. It would need to... Yeah, no. It'd need to be faster for me. Like, a little bit more efficient. Spinning, I'm open to it.
Try the wheel.
But I'm really enjoying sewing right now. And cross-stitching.
Try the wheel.
Okay. Anyway, we're babbling on now.
As we do.
I actually got rid of a little bit of stash this week. When I went to Crystal's, I brought her one of my Juliana braids. I brought her the BFL one. And it was in Halloween colors, which green and purple and orange. She loved it. So I also have a large laundry basket of dishcloth cotton.
Oh, that.
Going to Tanya's house because
Tanya
has a plan to make a cotton blanket.
And basically, Lynn took one ball of almost everything she had
and filled the laundry basket
in her cotton stash.
No. Well, there's a slight dent.
Laundry basket full of single skeins that's going to Tanya's. And I'm like, you're going to mail that? She's like, no.
I'm going to go visit at some point.
If she goes to Rob's
If I go to Rob's next weekend, I will be stopping at Tanya's on the way. If I don't, I will figure something out. So.
She's coming to Stitches, isn't she?
Yeah, but I'm not going to wait till then.
True. How many hours is she?
She's 5.5 from here.
And Chicago is 14?
14. Well, that's because if I'm going to Rob's, I have to pick him up at the train station at 11:40 p.m. in Port Huron at the border. Which means if I leave here sometime in the morning,
do you have to cross the border to get him?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I leave here, say 10 o'clock in the morning, takes me 5 hours to get to Tanya's. I'm there at like 3:30. I can spend a few hours with her, hang out, have dinner, whatever, and then go across the border and pick up Rob.
Nice way of
and
chopping up the day.
Yeah. And from her house, it's how much?
From her house, it's an hour and a bit to the border.
Okay.
Maybe just over an hour, because she's almost at the crossing of the 401 and the 402. And then it's another 6.5 hours to Rob's house.
More friendships through
But he takes the train, right?
He takes the train up to Port Huron.
Okay.
I pick him up, and then he drives the second half, because he gets to sleep on the train. And the idea is that I'll probably drop Andrea's minis off on the way back.
Look at that. That's very cool.
Because Andrea lives about half an hour from the border, so on the other side.
Cool.
Yep. All right.
All right, so I think that's it. Okay, so happy knitting. Happy Easter if we don't see ya.
Someone will be podcasting next weekend.
Somebody will be podcasting next weekend.
All right.
And that's it. Take care, everybody.
Bye.